Yay, 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 isn't it? Yes, we are live. You are live. And we're in the club. We're in the team. We're on the team. We're on the team together. This is Estelle. Do I say your last name right? Poire.
That's
Poire?
perfect. That is perfect.
Oh,
I love when an English speaking person says my name, my French name.
Poire.
I love it. I think it's
Oh,
beautiful. Thank
in
you.
English.
Fabulous.
Oh, and you know what? I'm learning Spanish, not French. Although in school here in the school system here where I live, they teach French, not Spanish, and
Okay.
that's because we live so close to Quebec that there's
Exactly.
more French speaking.
That would make sense.
So,
Yes. But
yes,
Spanish is the second,
in
second
the United
official
States,
language exactly of the
right?
US.
Right, and I've tried to climb that mountain a few times, but I'm doing Duolingo on my phone. I'm, like,
There you
I'm giving
go.
it another whirl.
There you go. And it's free actually. It's a beautiful app. It works so
Yes.
well. And I do it for Italian, so it's perfect.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
that's nice. Yeah, I don't. It's funny with my kid. My kid was doing Chinese for a while, so right.
Wow.
So I don't know. They must have that on the app too, but he wasn't doing it on Duolingo. He had it in high school. They were doing. Yeah, I would think that they would be more apt to tell him to do Spanish, but they don't.
Okay.
Right. Because I said to him, I wish you would do Spanish because I actually have team members in my direct sales company that are Spanish only. And I have to, when they ask me stuff, I have to use Google Translate and go, which is still awesome though.
Exactly. Isn't there an app where you're talking and then it translates for the person and
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
that.
for in person, that's awesome. Yeah, of course, it can make you not want to learn it. Then you're just like, well, I'll just
Well,
do that.
that's an excellent point. That's a very excellent point.
Oh, so Estelle, I am so happy that you agreed to be on here. Um, this is the second go round, and sadly, when I first asked you, I'm like, you haven't been on it, and I know you have because you're the reason that I want to tell you a story because I don't know if you know this, but you inspired me to. I know it still looks like chaos behind me, but not compared to what it was before. But my office used to be a little store out there, and my mother actually was selling stuff like a store kind of format. She had thousands of items, thousands and thousands of items, and many of them were expired and stuff. And some of them were usable. So I had to go through all of that. And for some reason, when she moved to assisted living, was not long after when we did our interview together in May 2021, long after that. So I was thinking of decluttering and how important that would be in my life. And I made a big effort to every day have something leave here. Every day something had to go and either go to the donate or go to the dumpster or go to another deserving person. And what happened was I was able to clean out half of the room out there, half of the room. So then later in the year, when our public buildings weren't open still the beginning of this year, and I was in a community theater group that were putting on a play for something that was happening last April. They needed place to meet, and I had my space free because of you. I know
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
that.
you're wonderful. Thank you. And you're so wonderful because there's something very important that you did. You did a little bit every single day. And that makes the whole difference. That makes a huge difference because sometimes people will get discouraged because, oh, I have to declutter or I need to declutter. Oh, I should declutter. And then they end up never doing it. But you took action, which is the most important. But you did it every single day, constantly. So it makes the whole difference.
And
So good for
I'm
you.
still
You're
doing
awesome.
that in here. Even though it seems like there's still a lot on there. I'm actually probably half of what I had in this room, and I beat it back to the bookcases. It was actually half the room. But yeah, I have this thing about something has to go every day. That must be like the key to a lot of stuff because I have a lot of projects where, like, if I'm doing a card send with a whole bunch, I do 4 a day because I do that because I'm thinking to myself, oh, I didn't get anything done today, but I can at least do those four. Just I can at least do the four. And when I was cleaning the room, I thought the same thing. I thought at least I could just take a bag of stuff out. There's enough
Absolutely.
stuff so a bag can go.
Absolutely.
So
That makes
is
so much
that how
sense.
you teach your clients to do it too? Or
Absolutely. And you know that that's the first thing with simple living. Simple living, how to simplify our life. How to simplify our life daily is with decluttering, and it's decluttering stuff. Definitely a little bit every day. Did you know that the average American home has approximately 300,000 objects? When I saw this I saw this statistic, I thought, I closed the page and I went back on Google and I thought, what's the average number of stuff in an American home? And it was still average of 300,000. And I thought, you have got to be kidding me. So
300,000
imagine,
items.
and are all these objects used on a daily basis?
Well, and
Absolutely not.
how do you
Exactly.
maintain 300,000 objects?
Absolutely. How do you maintain? When do you use them? How much sadness and frustration is contained in a house when you think about it, right? Because that's it,
Right.
it's a bit emotional too, right? This
Well,
this
and
this thing
it's
that
hard.
you bought. Yes, this thing
Yeah,
that you
some stuff you don't use that
yes,
often. And right now, I think I'd rent it instead of buy it. If I'm
exactly.
gonna, if I'm not gonna use it a lot, maybe just rent it or borrow it and not buy it.
Absolutely. And even I found myself when I'm living with my mom at the moment temporarily to give her a hand, right? And I found in some of her closets stuff that belonged to me, stuff that actually I
Oh,
bought in the past. Can you imagine? Stuff that I bought in the past. And I thought, what? I bought this? I'm never going to wear that thing. Never, 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 never. And I bought this. The tag is still on. What the heck? What the
oh,
heck? Yeah, it's got to go. I'm not going to wear it. I know that. It's the same with people. People know when they buy something and they will actually never use it, they will never wear it, it will never serve any purpose. And often we'll buy something that, because we're so sad, we're so angry, something happened during the day or the week before, whenever, and we buy something and it's just going to stay there.
retail
A-
therapy.
Absolutely. And it's going to sit on the shelf, along with all the 299,000.
No, that's 300. Yeah, and you know what? I bet you I have more items than that here. And you know what happens too? It's not a good legacy to leave your children because now when my mother went to assisted living, even though she had 15 months to prepare, she did not go through her stuff. She walked out and just went, well, that's your problem now. I said, and I kept saying, I'm going to have to go through that. And she said, oh, sorry. And
Well,
and I understand why she didn't want to do it because it's sad to do or all that stuff. But it's a problem I don't want to leave for my kid to do.
that's
You know what
that's
I
a very good
mean?
point. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And my mom did say something like that to me not too long ago. I said, Ma, you got so much stuff in the house, because my dad passed away in 2015 and my mom still has stuff from my dad. And I
Oh,
said, well, there's this jacket, beautiful jacket that he bought and never wore. I said, I'm sure somebody, would love to wear that. And
yeah,
I don't think that, I don't think he would care, I think he would be really happy. And he's
yeah.
got some bow ties or ties and, and my mom said, "Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to." And I mean,
Oh,
okay, I get it, but there's also other stuff that are just cluttering the house.
yeah.
And it's in a way cluttering her life. It's also cluttering my life. So slowly but surely, you know, going one
Yeah.
step at a time with her. Ma, this box is empty. Maybe we could fill it with some things and just bring it to the
Release
secondhand
them.
store, release them. Someone. I'm sure we could bless somebody with
I bet
this.
that's part of the thing that you have to end up dealing with your clients that are looking to declutter is the emotional part because I don't know about everybody else, but now me going through her stuff, she's still alive. She's over just in assisted living and doesn't need the stuff. But I feel like I have an obligation to make sure if there is something useful that it goes where it's supposed to go. So I can't just like take a shovel and put it all in the dumpster. I just can't seem to make myself do that. So I'm going through item by item.
Absolutely.
Now, is that wrong? Or-
No, not at all. Because you're doing great because you're taking the time, and
Well,
then by doing
I
that,
almost feel compelled to do that though, because I don't
yes,
want to waste the resource if there's something there that
can
you
be
know what
used.
I mean. And I do have rules, of course. My life is run by rules that I create, but I have a rule about if it's broken or if it's looks worn or if I wouldn't give it for a gift, I'm throwing it. I don't believe in donating stuff that's not sellable. So I do that. So is that what do you have a thing that you give your clients that says something like here are the categories that you look for?
Actually, when I do via my website, thank you so much for putting my website down. So
Yeah, that's right, right there in the scrolling bar.
exactly. So anyone who's going to be watching this is welcome to book a 30-minute session with me. It's completely free. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. 30 minutes, completely free. It's a simple living consultation. It's how to simplify your life, and it goes with decluttering. And there's all kinds of ways we can declutter. We declutter, we clean, we organize. These are three things that I will mainly do, right? And for decluttering, there's decluttering your stuff, decluttering your life, decluttering the people in your life, decluttering the life experiences that are no longer serving you, and decluttering the
Yeah.
stuff one step at a time, one tiny little thing. I did a video not too long ago on one way we can simplify our life is to actually, just like you did, take one object and,
Every
getting
day.
rid of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, just one
Yeah.
tiny object. Most of us have more than we will ever need, and just getting rid of one tiny object is simple. I like to say we are born, and then one day we're going to leave this earth, and in between there's life is meant to be lived. Life is not meant to accumulate a whole bunch of crap that we'll never use. And it's true, we all do it, and I include myself in that, right? I mean, now I've pretty much everything I own. I mean, I still have to do some decluttering at my mom's place, but most of the stuff that I own now, I know what I own, and I know where my stuff are, and that's very important. There's a lot of power in that. And that's one way to simplify our life, to create more harmony in our life. You must feel that you have more harmony in your life. There's it feels we're happier when we simplify our life, when we declutter our
Well, when
life.
I first started, I felt like I was being wasteful getting rid of stuff. But then I felt like a burden was lifted off my and the fact that I was taking my time and sorting through it made me feel better about that. But oh, I want to say Teresa said that she's watching on LinkedIn, but it's black screen, and I'm not sure how to fix that, Teresa. I'm very sorry. I haven't streamed live to LinkedIn before the last couple shows, so I'll have to look into that, and I am sorry. Apologize. And let's see, somebody said That's my evolve word this year. A little at a time adds up to big results. Love that. And Janet, my bestie from Ireland's on, and I like what she said here. I have learned I don't need things to remember a loved one. Yeah, and
Oh,
I try to like I need emotions to remember a loved one, not things necessarily. You know what I mean? That's a very
exactly.
good point.
Yes. And the moments that we spend, sorry, that we spend with other people, that's a lot more valuable than all the stuff that will be accumulating over our lives. So in a session, when someone books a session with me, 30-minute simplify your life consultation, we go through, a step plan together. I'll give them a like a step plan, and if they want help to implement the step plan, they're welcome to keep on working with me, and I will be my true pleasure.
You know what I do need is a coffee cup intervention, although I couldn't part with this. Right, but that's the problem is a lot of people have given me coffee cups, and then of course I have special ones, right? So yeah, a coffee cup intervention would be helpful.
Uh, well,
Right.
I was going to tell you that
You
after this, I was going to send you a coffee cup in the mail, which I'm not going to
have
do, Mom.
no, I think it's made a big difference. Having the mindset that you talked about on our last time together has made a big difference in my decisions of what I keep and what I don't keep and why. It's not just what, but why. Right, because that has, and I don't think it's just the items either, from what you're saying, because you're saying from the inside out. I think I use the snooze button on Facebook a lot more than I used to. Because if somebody irritates me when I'm reading their post in the feed, I'm thinking, why am I allowing it to be in the feed? I'll just snooze them for 30 days. That's not rude or anything. That's actually being nice to me by not
Absolutely.
having to write. I'm not like banning them to another planet or anything. I'm just snoozing them.
Exactly. And you're simplifying your life by decluttering. It's like
Yeah.
you're decluttering your life in a way. You're pushing away someone or a relationship that might not be really serving you at the moment, and you just want to
Or
give
usually either
yourself
one of
some.
us, right?
Yes.
Either one of us. Yeah.
Yes, and it's a way of showing yourself love and respect, and
Yeah.
that's so important. And I just finished a workshop, a 3-day workshop where, you know, um, we learned how much. It was a good reminder of how much love and respect for ourselves is so important. It's
Yeah.
critical. If we show ourselves love and respect, we're better equipped to make better decision for ourselves and by ourselves. So that's so important.
You know what's funny? I think that I came to that conclusion quite a while back. That I only let people in my little world. You only get to stay if it's mutually beneficial for both of us. I'm not going to have, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have to survive having someone in my life. So I think that's hard when it's a close relative, and that has happened to me. And I just had to let him go. That's weird. And that's not including my ex-husband, though they had to go anyway. But this is this is another close relative. And it's funny because that person died last year, and everyone was thinking I was going to have a big reaction, but I didn't. And that was because I was good with the decision that I needed to let them go, or they were going to continue to um, uh, negatively impact me for the rest of my life. And I wasn't willing to have that happen. And I felt good with the decision. So,
Absolutely. You're bringing a really good point here. You just said the key thing. You were happy with the decision. So there's a lot of power in a decision like that you make like that, because when you make a decision and you're like, I'm not too sure. Well, but I stand my ground, and this is a decision that I'm okay with. I'm okay with, and that's it.
Well, I
Good for
just was
you.
thinking
Good,
if
good
that
for you.
person, if that person was a nice person, which they weren't, is why they couldn't be in my life. But if they were, they wouldn't want to have me feel that way about them. They would be like, oh, I wouldn't want to have caused you all that pain. So just the fact that they aren't doesn't mean I shouldn't base the decision on what's right for me. And certainly it couldn't be helping them any having me in their life because it wasn't a good mutual relationship. And I think that's hard. That's hard. Somebody in the comments said I did that 3 years ago with a relative, best decision ever. Yeah, and it's hard when it's a relative because I think you get judged by the other relatives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And by doing that, though, when you let go of somebody, whether it's a relatives or someone close or not that close, you're actually giving yourself love and respect. And I I kind of remind myself, or I kind of say that again, but it's so important. And that's part of, decluttering ourselves, decluttering our life, simplifying our life goes with, giving ourselves love and respect daily. That is so critical.
Well, and you don't necessarily have to share that with them either. Because I
Exactly.
actually said that to husband number two, which was not right. I should have kept that to myself. But I finally ended up saying, I said, I am really sorry, but if I will have no self-respect left if I stay here for one more second. I'm really sorry about that, but you gotta go. And he did not find the empowerment in that for himself, but uh, I should have probably just thought that and then just released him out back into the wild from whence he came. But right, but I think sometimes you just have to do that to protect yourself. You should. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself and your
Absolutely.
emotions and your where you lived. Don't let other people bring stuff in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's yeah, that's when you listen, when you listen to yourself, it's really, it's so deep inside of us. We feel it. It's like this wonderful intuition. We feel it so deeply inside of us that it's the highest form of respect, and it's the right decision for yourself that you're taking by yourself at that moment. And that's wonderful. There's great power in there, in that. And
One of
yeah,
our
I love it.
listeners, oh, go ahead. One of the listeners wrote, I did that to my dad years ago. He passed away in March of this year. I hope you were able to be good with the decision because that's who it was with me too. It was my father. But to me, you just have to be good with the decision, I think.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Yeah, don't let it continue to hurt you because you made the decision. It's likely the best thing for you if you made
Absolutely.
it. Yeah,
And I,
that's
I, I
awesome.
and I gotta say, I guess, without getting into too many details, but I guess growing up with my parents, it was a bit of a traumatizing experience. And I gotta say, for quite a few years, I left. I did.
Sorry, dog.
That happens. And
Welcome to my crazy life.
absolutely. How many animals do you have?
Oh, you didn't have to say it like that, right? But it's yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
have
no, no,
one
no, no,
dog,
no.
five cats. Yeah,
Oh, so
one dog,
cute.
five cats, and a gecko. Yeah, and of course
Oh,
the gecko eats crickets, so we have a cage of crickets as well.
yes.
Of course. I
That's
know I
great.
only was laughing because the show I did with Jeff this morning, what did he say? A variety of ex-husbands. He said I had a variety of ex-husbands. It's only two. It's not like a variety is like a six-pack, right?
Yes.
And I've only had two ex-husbands.
Yes. No, I thought you had like two or three dogs. Maybe they were
No, that's
barking or
one
something.
dog.
Okay, no,
One
one
dog,
dog. Okay.
Happy. Yeah, and it's funny. He sounded like he liked to get whoever that was. What he really wants is for them to pet him and give him a biscuit. He's afraid they're
Oh,
leaving without giving him a biscuit.
oh.
Oh, good. The person in the comment said, I'm at peace with that decision. That's awesome. It's so
Yes.
emotional to let go of things and family members. I did declutter a few years ago. It is so hard, but so refreshing.
Oh, so
That's
true.
awesome.
It's hard. Yes, definitely. Because sometimes we hold on to things, right? Like we hold on to people, like we hold on to decisions that we make. And we're
Well,
like,
and
oh
I
my,
don't know, do you run across this? So when I was the worst about doing that is when I had the lease. So when I lived at the trail in the trailer park, I would never get rid of anything because I was afraid there would come a day when I needed it to survive. I could sell the item or whatever, because that had happened before, where I wanted to make sure I had some stuff that I could possibly sell and turn into money if I ever got that desperate again. And
mm,
so then I didn't want to let go of anything. And I think that only changed. I don't even know. There was an evolution to it when I decided that things didn't, what having the items wasn't what could make me money if I got desperate. It was what I knew that made me valuable, not my stuff. So that was over time that happened. But I was the worst about keeping stuff when I was the most desperate for money. Do you find that to be true or not?
absolutely will be sometimes a bit heartbreaking to let go of things, or maybe I could turn this into money and stuff. And I made a video a few weeks ago, maybe. I think I did that video. Yeah, I did that video in French, and I was asking the people. It was an interesting, well, conversation with myself or whoever would be watching. But it was a question about, let's say you have 30 minutes to leave your house, regardless, maybe there's a tornado coming up, or there's a
Oh
fire.
yeah,
Let's say you've got 30 minutes, you've got 30 minutes to leave, and that's it. What do you bring?
the cats and the dog and the kid. Well, the kid. Yeah, we talk. We
Exactly.
actually talk about that all the time. And once I don't where I must have heard that somewhere. Was it with you? But we talk about where we're going to meet outside because we have a property. We need to have a meeting spot. And I always thought originally that I would grab the laptop or something, but now that wouldn't even be one of my things because I made sure that I was able to, I backed up to a cloud. So I actually, if the house burned down and I wasn't home or something, I could go down to the office supply store, get another laptop, sign into my cloud, and I'd be back in business immediately.
Exactly.
So I tried to do those kind of things so that this item of the laptop would not have the value that it had, so that I would have time to wrangle the cats because those
Absolutely.
mean more to me
Yes.
than a computer.
Exactly. And so my next question was, let's say you come back home and your house is on fire. And I mean, the firefighters are on their way, or maybe they are already there, but regardless, your house is on fire and there's actually nothing to do. So,
Ooh,
so what do you do? Because that could happen to everybody. I mean, I don't wish anybody that ever, but it's just a way of, and it's a conversation I had with a friend of mine, because she's got a big house all by herself, and then she was trying to figure out, what she was going to get rid of. And I said, let's say your house is on fire, there's absolutely nothing you can do. I mean, it's heartbreaking, right? It's a house, right? It's your home where you live, you love it, and there are probably a lot of things in that house, that home, that you're actually not using, and you'll never be using. So if you're going to have to start over in another place, what is it that you would buy again? Oh, yeah, this bread knife, I really loved it and I use it all the time and I love this. It's only stuff. Would you buy it again if it's something that you love? Unfortunately, now you lost it. But is that something that you would replace, something that you would buy again? And what are the things that you're thinking, oh, you know what? I would not buy, rebuy, or to buy again this or that, or
well, that's a great way to do the test
yes.
of
And I'm
what you.
sure, yes, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that thinking about that, they would, oh wow, yes, this, oh yeah, I'm almost happy that it burned because I won't have to deal with this anymore, right? You
Yeah.
know, which again, I don't wish that,
Oh, right,
I don't
right.
wish that to anybody. But that's a great way of thinking about material possessions. And another thing, the last thing would be, what are those things? And you mentioned that, with the cloud, which is an excellent point. What are those things that hopefully you would protect if there was a fire, in case of fire or an emergency, whatever? What are these things that hopefully are protected? And that's another thing to think about.
Well, another couple of good comments here. I'm trying to get the husband to try to sell some of his stuff. I'm not sure you can get another person other than to do anything, not including get rid of his stuff. The only thing, this is just my experience, the only thing that has ever worked for me is to set a good example yourself. And sometimes they come around, sometimes they don't ever. So you almost, in my opinion, even though it's a husband, you almost can only do your own sorting and your own thing and hope they come around. But if they don't, I'm not sure you can make someone else do anything.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah, you found
that's
that to be true too.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point, and that's actually very true. We can only set a good example for ourselves, to help ourselves, to declutter and to simplify basically our life. If other people are going to be joining us, we can encourage them, but we cannot force anybody to do something that they might not be ready, or willing to do. So yeah, that's a bit of a difficult alley to take.
Right. I like this one too. My brother and I are estranged. I'm reading this in the comments. I'm not estranged from my brother. And he's the named executor of my father's will. I pretend my family's home was already lost in a fire so I can stop worrying about family items not coming to me. I love that because I am always surprised at how many families fall out over stuff that in our family it was the opposite. Neither one of us wanted any of it. I said, if there's anything that you want, have it all, because I don't want any of it. And it was funny, we both didn't want any of it. Matter of fact, when my father died, we ended up giving the grandchildren the money. Even we didn't want it. We wanted, and it's so sad when you see families fighting over not just the money but the items. Oh, it's so sad. And
Absolutely.
that's so good of you to think it's already gone and just leave it at that. You're being the bigger person. That's awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for the person in the comments. Thank you for mentioning that. And that's really true. When you because everything is temporary. Even our lives are temporary. We're born on a certain date, and we have an expiry date. Regardless of what we think. Are we going on another mission afterwards? I'd like to think I'm going on another mission.
Another
But
mission. I like that. Another mission.
yes, absolutely. Going on another mission. But during this lifetime, do we want to be truly happy with ourselves in the first place, and also with other people, spending awesome moments with other people and ourselves in the present moment, obviously, so that we can fully enjoy? Or do we want to accumulate a whole bunch of crap that we'll never use? And do we want to surround ourselves with people that will trash our life? And do we want to surround ourselves with a poor decision that will actually trash our lives, and life experiences that will, in a way, poison our lives, kind of thing? Um so yeah, and so to look at, to think of the possibility that your house could go on fire is, in a way, a bit of a sad thing. But it's a great way to think, oh wow, what would I want to replace? What would I want to buy again? What are these things that are absolutely serving a clear purpose in my life, whether it's a bread knife or a top that you love. It's only stuff anyway. It can be replaced.
And what's funny? I did that too. When I got divorced the second time, he was acting like he was going to fight over the items, and I said to myself, "Is this going to ever, no matter what, is this going to be worth spending the next 8, 9 months of my life getting run through the ringer over items? Is there anything that I really care that much about that I want to do that?" And I decided no. So I right away, I went to the lawyer and I said, "You can have it all. I'm just going to sign away the whole thing." And it was a house fully loaded and everything. And I just said, "Give me my clothes and I'll be done with it." And they were all surprised I did that. And I was happy as a clam. I'm so glad I did that because I did not waste the next 8 or 9 months of my life arguing over stuff that I could just, if I wanted it that bad, I go buy it again. Now,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I didn't have any regrets. It's funny that the one thing that I had a funny thing about for years after that was flatware, which is stupid. It wasn't sterling. It was just stainless steel flatware that you eat with, that I had collected a setting at a time over years. And I had a big set of it. I was sad that I left that, but sad wasn't a deal breaker. I still was like, my peace of mind was worth letting go of that flatware. Even though it later bothered me a little bit, never enough to have changed my mind doing it. And I would recommend doing that every day of the week. That was not worth fighting over. And I think a lot of people that fight over that stuff when they get divorced, it isn't really about the stuff. They either just want to fight or they have emotions that aren't worked out or whatever it is. Probably isn't even about the items.
Absolutely. It's you're spot on with that. That's completely emotional, because the stuff is just it's just stuff, right? And
Well, you're right.
people feel abandoned. Wow, that's what a waste. I wasted all this time and all this wasted all this time with this person, or they feel abandoned, they feel sad and frustrated, and they hang on to the stuff. It kind of gives them, oh, if I can win, maybe that will give me
Right.
some sort of a satisfaction kind of thing, right?
You could have all the stuff.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful because you did the complete opposite. You just
Well, and,
imagine.
and then I didn't have to look at all the stuff and think about, because I think when you get divorced, one of the things you think of is, I didn't want to be perceived as failing, especially because it wasn't my first rodeo. So I didn't want that. So not having to look at the old stuff helped, because I didn't have to be reminded about the second rodeo.
Absolutely. And
You
in a
know
way,
what?
you started over all by
Yes,
yourself
I got to get new
wonderfully.
stuff. Yeah,
Yes. And you're doing wonderful, and now you've got this
Oh yes, we're having fun with our book launch. Yeah. And you know what? That has been something, because in my bucket list of things to do in my life, I had write a book about my life experiences or something. Now this book isn't a biography, but there's enough little pieces of me sprinkled in it that it feels like one to me. If you know me well, when you read it, you'll be like, yeah. You'll be, oh. But yeah, it's unbelievable. And Jeff doesn't know what a gift it is to me. He doesn't. I don't know how I can convey that to him. He doesn't realize it, but maybe someday I'll be able to tell him what a gift it is, because
Oh,
it
that's
is.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeff West, if you're watching, okay, Lisa, can you repeat? Yes. Yes.
I know I've said it, but it's hard to say it. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's
so
a beautiful project.
This listener is the one that has the husband. That is so true. I am just encouraging him. He has collections that he has. Some of it is worth money. I have no knowledge of the value. I try to say we could buy a vehicle that we really need at this time if he got rid of the collections. Yeah, the only thing is, right, until he's ready, though, if you either did it without his consent or talked him into it against his will, though, he might end up resenting you. You don't want that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why you almost only got to deal with your own. This says, Roy and I have been married 45 years. That's got to be Marie. 45 years and worked through all the bad days together. That's got to be my buddy Marie, I think. I recognized her name. Yay!
Wow,
Her
45 years. That's wonderful. 45 years. Wow.
Oh, yes. That's awesome. The two of us are on the same team single, right? Your team
Oh,
single.
actually,
He's
I was
married.
I was I'm not exactly single. I do have a boyfriend, but
No, that's still being single, though. You think you guys didn't get married. Right?
we're not married.
I think you can still call it single, though, if you want.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, maybe they don't
Exactly.
like that. Do guys not like that if you go around and like, I'm single?
Yes. I mean, him and I were both very independent, and we got together, I mean, we'll
Oh,
see
that's
where
awesome.
we'll see where life takes us, but I just spent 3 days all by myself, actually 4 days since last Thursday. It was all by myself, and I wasn't feeling lonely or anything. I was all by myself,
No, and shouldn't it be
and
that way?
exactly.
Shouldn't it be that way?
Exactly. I was very happy with myself,
Yes.
with my own company, and there's a lot of power in that, because if
Yeah.
we're happy with ourselves and happy with our own company, and we get along well with ourselves, right?
Well, isn't it like the Go Giver marriage thing? We were just talking about that on the other interview we did, but like husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're by yourself separate, a whole person, an interesting person, a person that has likes and interests and things you want to pursue and dreams and goals, and then there's some overlapping.
Absolutely.
And that makes it good. But if one of you doesn't have any interests other than the other person, that's hard. If you're a whole
Absolutely.
person by yourself, then it's easier to have overlapping things, I think.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. The whole person
Yeah.
all by yourself,
Yeah.
and so, I was enjoying my time by myself doing this workshop and all that. And we'll see each other in the next few days, and that's going to be fine. And he's not the kind of guy who's going to be, oh, I'm so sad without you, and I miss you so much, and I can't live without you. No, it's not
No,
like that.
yeah,
He's his
that's
whole person. He's developing his relationship with himself, with himself, and I'm doing the same, and that's very important. That's another way of decluttering our life, right? It starts with ourselves internally. How cluttered are you emotionally? If we are hopefully decluttered emotionally, it's easier to enjoy our own company, and then to find someone, eventually, if we want to. We don't have to
right,
be with. Absolutely.
right,
we can
right,
be
right,
we can
right.
be we can be happy all by ourselves, so you know
And I think you make a better partner when you're happy on your own, right?
absolutely.
Because you're
Absolutely.
not always dependent on well, and that's got to be a burden for the other person. I mean, if you tell them your happiness depends on what they're doing or being or whatever, then you're not taking responsibility for your own happiness. That can't be fun for the other person.
Absolutely.
You know
And
what I mean?
I got to tell you, I used to be like that. I used to be, it's not a sexy thing to say, but I used to be codependent
Oh,
for the longest time. I had to do some self-development, a lot of self-development to come down to this. I really enjoy my own company, and I'm actually happy by
well, that's
myself,
awesome.
all alone. But that
How
took
did
a
you
long
get
time.
to the
Let me tell you.
How did you get to the point where you were able to realize that's what you were doing and get by that?
I guess with some personal development, I realized that I was emotionally cluttered. Right,
I mean, yeah.
I had all these things that I had gone through. I guess with a bit of a childhood, a bit of a traumatizing time in childhood, um, and I guess I left, all this trauma and traumatizing time, and I wanted to leave, right? So I left when I was in my early 20s, and I thought, oh, that's it, there you go, problem solved,
And it
no
wasn't, you
more.
had to work through it. You had
Oh,
to work through
absolutely.
it.
It's like
Yeah.
you're carrying this toxic load with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're gone, the toxic load kind of thing, the trauma always follows you. So I had to deal with that. I had to kind of learn to, things that happened to me. Well, how did it make you feel? I had to deal with that. I had to, damn, I'm pissed. Okay, well, just be pissed. Damn, I had to learn how to be mad. So I learned how to express. That's express all by myself. Obviously, I don't want to get mad in front of everybody and you know that is not good. I don't recommend that.
You know what I was bad about it. I don't think I'm as bad anymore. I don't know if you've seen that movie Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere.
Yes.
Um, I would um, turn myself into who I thought they liked me to be. In other words, I didn't know what kind of eggs I liked myself. If they said scrambled eggs, I'd be like, me too. Or if they said sunny side, I'd say me too. I would just go along and cater to just turn myself into what they liked. And I don't do that anymore, but I found myself doing that with men, and it was a disservice to myself. And in reality, I don't think the men, they never knew me. They never knew who I really was because I wasn't me when I was with them. I was trying to be the me I thought they wanted me to be.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, but that took a while to figure out.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
totally relate. I can totally relate to that. 100%. You
yeah,
know,
I
I
don't know why I was doing that.
yeah, I would do things just to please other people all the time. But when I was doing that, I was absolutely not loving myself, and I was not respecting myself. And it's like I was sabotaging and betraying myself all the time. And that
Well, and I
builds up a
wasn't,
lot of frustration.
yeah, I wasn't actually doing them any favors too because they never actually knew the real me. They knew the me that I was trying to be for them. They didn't know the real me. You know what I mean? I actually like my eggs sunny side. I don't like them all the ways they all like them. That movie was, believe it or not, that was supposed to just be a romantic comedy, and that was actually pretty eye opening.
Yes,
Yeah, that's funny how you can find stuff like that. And yeah, um, let's see.
absolutely.
Some people are saying, let's see, very true. You have to love yourself if you want to be in a good, healthy relationship. So true. Wherever you
Absolutely.
go, there you are. You're going to spend more time with yourself than anybody else. So you might as well be happy with that person. I walk around singing "Let It Go, Let It Go." That should be like your theme song with your business. The decluttering. Let it go, let it go. There you
Let
go.
it go, let it go. I
And the
got my dust.
duster.
Well, it's one of those things. I'm a bit of kind of a bit OCD or obsessed with the dusting thing. I got to dust all the time, right? I see it dust. I'm
You
like,
know
oh my
the
God.
I don't know. I'm sure you probably do this too, but if I'm like unmotivated to take something out or do something today, I'll watch a couple episode of Hoarders. So that clears that up. I'll be like, either that or I go, well, at least I'm not that bad. Like, oh, some of those people,
Yes.
I don't know how you get that far down that road.
There's a lot
That
of
must be shocking even to you. You must see some shocking stuff, but that must be shocking to anybody. That is shocking.
to this point when it becomes hoarding. Somebody with like a bit more specialized with a diploma, because it's really like a mental health issue.
So we should
And
all save ourselves from the brink by going to you well ahead of
yes,
getting to that.
yes.
See,
And
that's
there's,
yeah,
yes, and there's a
yes.
lot of unresolved trauma that occurs, when somebody is collecting all these things and keeping them, and actually sort of destroying their living environment and cluttering obsessively their living environment. There's loads of sadness, unexpressed sadness, and unexpressed frustrations that occur in one's life to get to that point. And it's very sad, but it happens. And sometimes all these things that will happen to somebody are so traumatic that they have such a difficult time to deal with it, that it will require
Unbelievable. Yeah.
some specific assistance.
Although I'll have to say, I have said that to my kid. The kid will drop like a, I don't know, something on the ground, and um, can I eat it after I dropped it on the ground? I'm like, have you seen hoarders? These people lived in their own filth for 20 years. I think you can eat the apple piece, or that's. I suppose that's wrong, but I'm
I
like,
do
it
that,
didn't kill them, right? Okay, right.
Alex. I do this all the time, kids. So
Oh, no, he's so funny. Yeah, he won't eat, like, if bread is one day out, he won't eat it. And I'm
oh, okay.
thinking he needs to watch Hoarders. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Abs-
Or watch it less. Maybe that's it. Because there's people there doing stuff that's way off the chart. And I think we all have to watch stuff like that to realize there's an in between to where we are and where they are. Healthy
Absolutely.
is an in between. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's also interesting because somebody said to me the other day in a Facebook group, this lady said, "Hey, girl, you got to understand that, not everybody wants to be living like a minimalist with nothing. Some people have a lot of stuff and they are very, very happy with that." And I'm thinking, okay, that is so true. That is true. I don't understand that, but that is so true. And
But
she's
isn't
right.
that there's a in between being uncluttering and being a minimalist, though, right?
Yes,
There,
minimalist.
because I would never call myself a minimalist, but I don't, you know what I mean? I think that I'm not that cluttered. I mean, there's an in between that is, everybody has their own spot, probably. Is that more like
Absolutely.
it? Yeah, because I don't
Absolutely.
think you have to be aiming for minimalist to want to
No,
declutter.
exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely. And it's the right amount of stuff. That's what I often will tell people. What is the right amount of stuff for
For
you
you.
that
Yes.
you will decide for yourself and by yourself? What is the right amount of stuff for you that you will decide that will make you happy? Stuff that you will want, stuff that you will need. There needs to be a balance between what I want and what I need. That's very important. So that's why I always tell people, well, how much stuff should I have? You have to decide that. You
Yeah.
are the only one person better placed to decide that all by yourself. Definitely.
Sometimes now I'm just as happy having a picture of something rather than the item itself.
Absolutely.
Now that's a weird thing, I suppose. Okay, one of our listeners said, when my son was little, he would pick it up and it went in his mouth before I could stop him. A little dirt won't hurt. Right. Didn't my mother say that? My mother's like, we all eat a peck of dirt in our life or something like that. There was some saying about that.
I love the sentence, a little dirt won't hurt. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, but yeah, I think as the time goes by for me, I'm wanting less and less. And when I adopted my kid as an infant, and this probably was true all along for me, but everything had to be utilitarian. I don't have stuff even now. I don't have like a lot of stuff sitting around that doesn't have a specific usage. But the problem with that is I don't, it's not, my house is not like designed, or you know what I mean? There's no it's no design thing at all. We have chairs to sit in, we have dishes to eat off of, we have the stuff we need to function, but it's not aesthetically pleasing or whatever. People come here know it's function. Function over design is my world. That's what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if it makes you happy, that's the
And
best.
I don't mind that. When you have 5 cats and a dog and a kid, you're not going to have lamps. There's just not going to be lamps at your house. There's a lot of stuff that just are not going to happen. I at first thought they were and realized quickly that that's not. No.
You know,
No.
that's a very interesting point because I'm like that too. And actually, I was in a hotel for the last 4 nights, and you know, I was sitting on the couch, you know, in my room, and I was looking at all the things, the little
Not
flashy
cheap, yeah.
design things that were in the room, and I thought, huh, okay, huh. And beside the bed there were these two lamps, and I hit my head on one of the lamps,
Oh,
and I thought, are these really useful, you know? You know, they could have been, you know, built into the wall. They would have been a
sconces. They
lot
should have been
easier.
sconces. Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, and that's something that, thanks to you, I remember this because of you. And I'm thinking, wow, they did not think about the cleaning lady.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, what is it that I can do to make your life easier? That comes from you. Thank you. I will always remember that. And I'm thinking, you know, when they build a new hotel or they renovate the hotel, you know,
They don't
because
think
that one
about
was
that. Yeah.
exactly. And I'm thinking, wow, they obviously, with all these frames and these lamps and all these decorations, you know, which have to be dusted daily or clean or whatever, they have to be maintained daily. So what a waste of time they did. They thought about, you know, designer, we're going to make it nice for our clients, for our guests, but we are not thinking about the cleaning ladies at all.
It's funny.
And
Right.
and that's kind of sad, right?
Yeah, I like staying at hotels though because I get some good ideas. You know what I've got at my house is one of those mirrors on a thing on the wall, like they have it. And actually, you can. I've got a hair dryer on the wall like that too, and I got both of those from hotels.
Very
Yeah,
useful.
yeah, I like stuff like that. That's utilitarian.
Yes. Serves a very clear purpose, definitely.
Right, right.
Yes. I love it.
I think that's funny. So anyway, we're going to wrap up here in a minute, but I want to make sure that everyone realizes if you want to declutter, and it's not just your items, but your life in general, make sure you go and get that 30-minute consultation with Estelle
Absolutely.
because she is amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing at this. Yes. And you want to tell them a little bit, I know you went over it once, but tell them a little bit about what happens when they make an appointment with you. They go on that site and they can book an appointment right there.
Yes, absolutely. Through my Calendly virtual calendar, they can book a consultation. It's a Simplify Your Life consultation. And, you know, we go through your most pressing issues, your most pressing challenges, and I'll establish a three-part plan with you to to help you simplify your life and, you know, declutter your life. And then if you it's completely free. I'm not going to try to sell you a package or anything. Don't worry about it. And it's a free session, 30 minutes, help you put together a action plan. Then if you wish to have more help to put that action plan in action, we can look at working together longer. And
Well, thank you. That's so
thank you, thank
awesome.
you, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's nice. To me, it's nice to know that you have that under control. Because the thing that I have enjoyed about me getting older is my knowledge that there's other people that have this kind of stuff under control, including you. So you can call on people to do the things that they're smart about so that I can save my energy to do what I'm good at. So you can get help from Estelle. You can get help from other people to make your life better without you having to know all that stuff. See, I love that. I hope everybody takes you up on that, because that's an awesome, awesome service.
Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much. And
thank
it's it's
you.
it's a lot of fun, and it's, simplifying our lives, from, in decluttering our lives from the inside out, right? So
So I've got it. Yeah, next time I see you, I've got to. I
that's all
know
good.
this looks like chaos, but it's so much less than it was.
That's all good. That's all good. One thing at a time, right? And you go
Yeah,
at your own pace that you decide.
right.
And one
And
thing at a time,
it still
what you
makes a
want to keep,
difference.
you keep it. You don't
It
want
still
you're
makes a
not ready
difference.
yet. You're not ready yet, and that's fine.
Yeah. It
Your
still
own
makes a
your own
difference
pace.
over time. Yeah, and that's my cape right there, by the way. That's my cape.
I love it. I love
Some
it.
stuff I can't get rid of, and that's one of them, my cape. Yeah. You never know when you're going to need your cape. I mean, come on. When you're a superhero, you got to keep it.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Captain
Well,
Captain Platinum.
I know. I know. What are you going to do, huh? Well, if you stay right there for a minute. Ooh, what is your pick today? We have some new choices. I like to reward my favorite guests. We have the caramels, and I don't think they have the same cookies, but they have cookies. They also have a cute little bakery sampler that has 4 different treats in it. And they have some new Halloween candy that's pretty awesome. Do you
Oh,
have some kind of preference going on?
I'm a caramel person.
What's cadmium?
Caramel,
Caramel. Caramel?
caramel.
Car Caramel. That's all right. You were
It's
close.
it's the letter
So,
R, in French.
oh, and I can't hardly say anything about that, because I take my R's and put them on the end of idea, like there is one there. They're right. So I can't say anything about the letter R. Thank you so much, Estelle. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank,
And I appreciate you. And stay
my true
right there for
pleasure.
a second, and
You
I
betcha.
will meet you in a second. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you so much.